Beautiful steps, beautiful palace, I assume, as it looks absolutely fantastic, even in the rain. As we wait to come back into this series. I love how we're always watching the TV, because we're like, that's so pretty.
I know, like the architecture.
I know, right? It's amazing. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are, of course, done with Game 1, where Victory 5, in no uncertain terms, obliterated
That
LNG.
was 20-5, with 12 kills going to Mole alone.
And Mole, yeah, I think it's all fair. He was our man of the match, because god damn was he good.
Almost 40% of the team's damage, all of the early game aggression coming from him and just snowballing the entire game. Mole is proving to be very difficult to deal with. He has a lot of champions that where if you just give them to him, he will absolutely hard carry it. The Aurelia, the Ryze, and now the Zoe have been 3 champions where I feel like if you're up against Mole, you have to have the plan for them.
And that's the thing. I think what I love to see from Victory 5, they came in with a plan and they just executed on it.
Yeah, it was very well done. They really punished LNG's early kind of lack in communication. They had a very early start of a ward down into SofM's jungle. They knew his pathing, and they followed up on it very, very well.
And the full committal as well. And this was just an easy little kind of roam up. And again, like you said, small little things like being able to have the scuttle crab giving you that extra movement speed that meant that Max was there to start up that play just a little bit, you know, kind of ahead of Maestro.
And there's a small detail right there. You can see V5 already having a ward in place behind the red buff. So just finding SofM, punishing him, saying, hey, you know what? You cannot collapse faster than Mole and Ben 4.
And I like this. This was like the last real stand for LNG. It was like, this either works while they're trying to do Dragon and we can turn it around, or we lose. Because as soon as Mole like turns around and turns his 4v4 or 4v5 into a 5v5,
there we go.
There's just nothing they can do.
That's what I love, like the little white flag coming out for Y4. He seems like a really quiet person, but in game he loves those emotes, so great timing.
Not allowed to use emotes in Europe.
Huh?
Not allowed to use emotes in Europe.
Oh, really? Why not?
Don't know.
It makes the game so much less colorful.
LEC, LCS, I think Korea has them as well. You're not allowed, LCK, you're not allowed to have emotes. Not even the thumb up, nothing.
That's really weird, because that is kind of contradictory to my solo queue experience working in EU.
In each of every of these regions.
Yes. Okay.
So, LNG, you're on the cusp of basically this game. We talked about it, how we thought like, you know, the V5 and the, I think it was OMGs,
yes,
one of the final games, and then they play Sunni in the very last day of their season as such. That's like their last game. I think Sunni has to play EDG as well, but that was going to be like, you know, okay, you know, they can make it, they should be fine, and now we're looking at it as if, you know, they might not even be able to beat OMG and Victory 5. Like this all of a sudden, like, you know, you've hit your peak, you hit your 6 wins, and that's just not enough for playoffs.
So I do want to say excuse me, but actually they have played OMG in 1. So that one's even out the window. That's actually worse for them because it means that they don't have that on the schedule to look forward to. It's going to be very difficult for them to secure the 9 wins that we've been talking about, that this playoff seems to be shaping up towards.
And at a minimum 8. Like that is kind of like we said 9 to be safe, 8 to just basically make sure that you're at least in and around the mix, you know what I mean? And LNG, they're coming back out onto stage, and we talked about it a little bit off camera. So what do you want to see them do differently? What do you want to see them try and create in this second game? Otherwise, because like if they go with the exact same thing, they're just going to lose again, I feel.
Yeah, and the key here for LNG is that they have to have an early game somewhere. That's the big problem that they haven't been able to fix for the past few weeks. And there's 2 ways you do that. Number 1, you just force a hard crowd control champion in the mid lane. And number 2 is someone in the side lane needs to step up and play something that goes strong early game, creates a ganking lane for LNG. They have to pick one of these 2 paths.
For Victory 5, is it going to happen? The elusive victory.
You know, you've been harping on it ever since you landed.
Keep it going.
I think you might finally turn into the lucky mascot for V5 rather than the Herald of Doom for them. Yeah. So I actually do think it might come this time around. I think LNG, surprisingly enough, hasn't really shown that much change. And I don't expect it mid-series.
And that's the scary thing. Like, that is the... not scary, but more so upsetting thing to see is a team that has all these great players, the SofMs, Plex is considered very good, Flandre as well, looking incredibly strong outside of this particular lineup. And they're all coming together and nothing's really working. They're not, and then the worst thing is that they're not changing anything. They're not adapting. They're not moving to a different style or a different, you know, a different pick ban. They're just kind of going, well, we'll do the exact same thing and we know we can beat them this time. That hasn't worked.
It definitely hasn't. Now, to be fair, LNG or Snake has always been a team with slow starts. They've always had that style, but they've had comebacks. They've had comebacks where the engage potential was there. Flandre was able to split push and drag the game out for a while. But the reason we're seeing them get so demolished recently is that their mid jungle just hasn't been holding up. They've been in such a large deficit that none of the other, you know, engage or split push options were even available on the table to begin with. So that's, I think, their sore point in the match so far, and I just want to see them shore them up with picks. I like to see them do what EDG does. When EDG ever has a game where they feel like Scout isn't doing well, you know what they do? They just tell their jungler to play Xin Zhao. It's like, I am going to hard force you to play Xin Zhao, and you're going to gank 24/7 until this guy feels comfortable and can carry.
And it is crunch time. Doritos crunch time. As we go into picks and bans for game 2 of this best of 3. LNG on the back foot will be on the red side this time. Victory 5 on the blue. We're going to see the picks and bans coming out again. Akali, Renekton, Jace, and Yasuo. Do you ban the Aurelia if you're LNG?
Well, there's multiple picks here that LNG do need to think about. The Karma is a great pick for Windy. I think it takes him out of laning pressure. So it's either between that or the Aurelia that they need to consider for LNG's side.
Victory 5 spending a little time now on their final ban. They are actually to ban the Aurelia themselves. Ooh. And LNG, what is their response? I think Victory 5 are setting themselves up for a Sylas first pick.
Definitely could be going that route. I mean, it's been working so well against Plex.
I'll have to wait and see. LNG taking a lot of time. Sylas still available, of course. The Nautilus, if they feel like that was a big thing. Sylas banned away, so Karma first pick on the board here for V5, potentially.
LNG recognizing, you know what, we're just never going to get the Sylas. We'll ban it ourselves just so you can't take it. Small smile coming out from Windy. He's like, ah, ha, 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 I've read your mind. Now give me the Karma. I knew it was going to be this champion. I think it just worked well for Windy. We've been talking about V5 and their weaknesses. It has been that they don't really have a great laning top laner in either Mole or Windy. So something like Karma, even though it was down 30 CS in lane, completely fine for their team.
Yep, means he, you know, realistically doesn't die, able to keep himself up in the matchup, and not looking like this is going to be... I'm not liking this at all, Clement. I'm not liking this at all.
All right, as long as they get me a counter pick for their mid laner, as long as it's something that is a hard force crowd control champion, I'll be happy with it. I can hang on to Asura on Ezreal. Remember, he was a good Ezreal last game. So we can hang on to this part, but some other lane has to be the dominant force. I like Aatrox, so we have to remember SofM does play a lot of Aatrox as well, so it is considered quite a good ganking jungle if you have laners with crowd control.
Yeah, if you got someone to set him up, he can come in and lay down the Darkened Blade. As Caitlyn locked in here for Y4. I have seen a couple of teams go with the, I was going to say Morgana, but instead of a Dark Binding, going to go with the Light Binding. Lux has not been seen since her nerfs.
Yeah, this is going to be the first Lux we are seeing after 9.14. The changes was a very much longer cooldown on Light Binding, and also the shielding went down as well. The ratio went down, the base numbers went down, it was hit pretty hard.
Everything kind of went down.
Yeah, so much less dominant in lane, you have fewer chances to set up that kill combo. But technically speaking, you don't lack the damage. The damage numbers really weren't nerfed. So if you can land it, it should still feel the same.
Should still feel the same, as we see the Gragas going to be the last pick here for LNG, trying to give SofM a decent matchup into that. You can imagine all the bans now will be going into that jungle role, as we see Kiana banned away from the side of V5.
Okay, so V5 has the same thought pattern I do. You just don't want Plex on something that can hard carry.
Do you ever think that, like, you know, when Y4 is in game, Like, it's almost like a question. It's like, V5? No, Y4. And it's like, oh, thank you. Like, it's just like letter number.
I know. It's been a bit of a meme since V5 kept all their players with the number 4.
Yeah.
And kicked everyone else.
Ben 4, Y4. Just have everyone with 4, and it's just really random. It's like, why are the 4s? I was like, I don't know.
I'm going to call myself Clem4 and see if they take my resume.
You are Clement K Chu on Twitter.
Always a question what the K stands for. I'm not going to reveal that, though.
Not going to reveal what the K is?
Not yet.
not yet. Big reveal coming soon. Playoffs or finals. Do it at finals. Reveal it.
Okay, if anyone still cares then.
Well, LNG going to take up most likely the Tahm Kench Shears. They did ban away the Olaf as well as the Jarvan in their second round of bans with the Gangplank and Kiana. 2 very safe picks, realistically, for LNG being taken off the board as well. So we got to say that that is almost certainly going to be Flandre or Plex with that Aatrox in the mid or top side. I would lean more towards Flandre.
Yeah, it does seem more like a Flandre champion for me as well. And counter pick, like we were talking about, so damn important for Plex to actually get a good matchup, shore up the early game. It's always been his job. Now, I'm quite interested here. Ben 4 on Zhao. Okay, that's a good answer here. And Talia back in the meta.
Sonya Hobber, we'll wait and see. I don't know why Mole would not go to the Zoe, considering how damn well it went in game 1.
And this Lux actually makes a bit more sense now as well.
Yeah,
taking away a counter pick.
Pure pick comp coming out from V5 as they lock in Mole. Zoe, 12 kills in the first game. Let's see how many he can get here. Tristana in the mid lane. Actually, no. I talked about this at length. If this is locked in, I'll continue my... yes! Okay,
yeah,
fantastic!
This could be Tristana top.
This is Tristana top. It is a huge, massive counter into the Karma. I love this from LNG.
You can't trade sustained damage back onto the top lane against Trist. Like, the Trist actually does win out. Her build with the Blade of the Ruined King early and her shove potential to match. It's going to be very difficult for Windy to get out of this one.
Yeah, we will imagine that it will be going into Plex's hands, but of course the flexing solo laners should be able to swap out between top and mid, but I am very, very excited. And I actually think that, you know, should Plex be able to dodge out the Sleeping Triple Bubble, a lot of the trait damage that he'd be able to do onto the Karma almost, you know, transitions perfectly into countering the Zoe as well.
Yeah, kind of an interesting playstyle choice here. We've talked about Tristana starting to heat up in the meta, just to build the Blade of the Ruined King and then going for the Infinity Edge items. She's quite strong in the solo lanes. She has a very strong kill potential spike, early levels against a lot of mages, and later on has the wave clear and escape potential to keep herself safe. So really a lot more picks here. It does go press the attack, as we've seen on this one.
But yeah, delighted to see something change. You're giving your mid laner, technically whoever, you know, Plex in particular, you're giving Plex priority in the early game. Level 2, Tristana has so much burst, has so much kill potential, has gone Ignite, if I remember rightly, should have gone Ignite is probably the best way I can put it, and we'll have to see now how they make this one work. However, they got to be very, very careful, because I feel like V5 have a good answer in the Xin Zhao in the early game.
Yeah, Xin Zhao is going to be so damn deadly. Now, we have seen Tristana being able to avoid some of the crowd control as she starts her animation. It actually cancels out a lot of the knockups. You can still finish your jump regardless, but this is double crowd control from both Mole and Ben4. It's going to be really hard. I actually expect LNG to focus heavily onto Karma in the top lane.
We are on to the Rift, ladies and gentlemen, for game 2 of this best of 3. V5 1-0 up over LNG. LNG need to bring it back. Let's see what they can do. So unorganized for the LGD chat. It's just like 4 people doing like, LGD! Go! So you see the invades from both sides. LNG getting the blue side on their potential.
LNG,
V5, they're not done.
They V5, excuse me, really love this start. We saw almost the exact same start in game 1 as well, where they do ward up the blue buff.
Well, pretty much fully, you know, kind of setting themselves up for this. Going to use the Blast Cone to bounce over. No vision for the side of LNG, so they don't know what's going on as of yet. Going to send Maestro to try and check it.
This could be dangerous.
Just get himself his ward down, so they know it's going down. So we're probably going to see some vertical jungling from both sides.
And we're actually seeing Plex not go for the Ignite, instead going for something safer in lane. I feel like this is a good idea because, honestly, I do see LNG actually playing toward top side a lot more than they actually play through mid. This mid lane against Zhao is just so damn hard to contest.
First line Night Binding is hit. Flash in, flash away. Exhaust went down, and that was just immediate pressure there from Ben4. They know exactly what they want to try to do for Mole.
And this is going to be a sweet 3-buff start for Ben4. He could even consider giving over an early blue. That's going to hold on to that one himself, it does seem like.
Want to get the Zhao going. You want to make sure he's able to get his early levels, early aggression, as we just saw there. So flash burn by Plex, and all of a sudden he's got to be even more careful in this mid lane, because if he gets caught out, he has no flash now.
Yeah, I think the cleanse was a good idea against this one. It's so difficult to actually stay alive. And just looking at the bot lane, we have seen Tahm Kench be kind of the answer to the Lux plus Caitlyn lane, but it's by no means a winning lane. It's just there to make sure that if your Ezreal steps on something, then at least Tahm Kench can take him out of the situation. However, it's still going to get pushed in. We should still expect turret plating to go over towards the bottom side for V5.
Yeah, it's going to be a pause. V5 looking like the likely culprits, as the referee on the side of LNG is just saying, you know, good guys, you're not my problem. You're not causing me any issues. And already we see the game plan come out from the side of V5. They know exactly what they want to do. They felt pretty damn good about that first game, getting Mole very, very far ahead. And they want to try and get that snowball rolling again.
And I think this game is going to come down to those SofM ganks. He's on the Gragas right now, a great ganking champion, flash insta-stun. And he has multiple lanes that need to be saved at this point. Mid lane already down summoners, bot lane's going to constantly get pushed in. I want to see where he invests in his resources. To me, it really does feel like the Lux plus Caitlyn lane needs to be stopped before they can start rotating around. So I do expect SofM, if his first gank does come in, to try at least stop the tempo coming in from V5's bottom.
We're going to jump back in 2, 1. Nothing was happening. But we do see SofM just trying to find some kind of advantage within this jungle, as of course buff to buff means that Ben4 is a little behind in terms of levels.
We do have to notice that just before we came back, there were pings going down, and SofM was spotted on the top side. Sure, he still has a great opportunity for a gank on Karma, though.
Ben4 is going probably the longest jungle route I've ever seen in my life. Like enemy blue to his red, back into enemy jungle. Like he's just spending a lot of time outside of his own experience range, just kind of taking a long time to get it. But overall, it should mean that he comes out with a camp advantage.
Yeah, and the way this pathing works is really about positioning rather than efficiency. He wants to secure this bottom side, make sure SofM's not on this side of the jungle, and just continue to allow Max and Y4 to etch out an advantage with this lane.
Yeah, the Caitlyn looks definitely going to be oppressive, to say the least, as Ben4.
Naughty.
Yeah.
Leaving that wolf there.
Means the camp doesn't reset, doesn't respawn.
No rubber band mechanics for you. Every time you kill the camp, it does level up further.
And that's kind of like the small little things we see from jungle pathing coming out. Is this bot lane for LNG, it's not looking so great.
Definitely not. Not supposed to come out of this lane ahead whatsoever. I like the idea for Lux here. When you see both the AD carry and the support without crowd control, I think Lux is still a fine answer in the meta.
Lux obviously not as oppressive as she used to be. Still a very, very good, you know, laning partner to have, as we see.
Whoops.
Max getting caught out, does throw out the light binding on the shield. Think he's pretty much dead to rights. They're going to gift that one over to Asura. First blood to LNG.
Yeah, good pickup kill right there.
Why was he there?
I think he thought he was safe, but he was spotted going towards that ramp. Like, he took the river route. And as you can see clearly, LNG had that warded.
I still don't, like, there's no benefit, I feel like, apart from getting, you know, vision on the enemy jungler, but even then there's no camps, there's no nothing. Like, I don't know, it seems like a very, very strange pathing. Hopefully we'll get to see the replay of exactly why Max was there.
No camps is probably why he went up there. It was like, he's not on this side of the jungle. Oh, never mind.
Yep, took it too literally, unfortunately, for him. As we see about a 10 CS lead, just under for Plex in that mid lane, despite losing his flash early. Did get the early enough push to try and punish Mole a little bit.
Does seem like we're not going to get a replay of what happened there. Just take it
Sad
as
boys.
Is.
Sad times. But Max still kept all his summoners, so didn't lose anything there. Just really gave over a little bit of gold. And then able to come back into this lane to keep oppressing this Ezreal.
And the way we typically see this lane start to break is when Caitlyn gets the teleport advantage over the Ezreal. They put on so much punishment that the Ezreal just has to force the TP, and the Caitlyn can then walk back to lane. And the second time that happens is usually when the tower starts going down.
You can see now, Light Binding lands, gonna have to use the Devour. This is more pressure. Asura does not really have the mana to stay in this lane as Mole fancies his chances and starts roaming down.
Ooh, this is keeping an LPL tradition alive.
Hex Flash gonna come in, and that means Maestro is by himself, left all alone. They're gonna try and get the TP back in for the Ezreal. But the TP probably gonna be a little bit too little too late as he tries to just jump in. Exhaust has been used as well. Mole finds himself a kill, and V5 find their early game.
Yeah, that was a questionable one coming from me. Even if he was able to get a kill, that would probably still accelerate the speed that V5 was going to take down the tower. Much better idea just to stay alive and pick up the minion wave. And once again, we're seeing Mole with the lane priority, with Ben4 hogging up the bottom side of the jungle.
And what I love as well with Ben4, like he got that flash out of Plex very, very early on, but then knew that it was only just to give his lane priority. That was all it was. You can see Ben4 here. He knows his game plan from the entire start is get bot lane.
We've seen this play from JJ multiple times. Like, people just don't expect the Xin Zhao to be able to get over walls this quickly. They just think like, oh, Xin Zhao, he's going to take precision and triumph. Wait a minute, why is he here?
Yeah, but positives for LNG. They will pick up the first Drake of the game. Going to be a Infernal. Not bad for them. Did pick up the first Drake of the last one. This one, however, has a slightly higher value in my opinion.
They really want to see is probably the Ocean at this point. I would actually take the Ocean over the Infernal in this position. You just want to stay in lane as long as possible. And taking a look at the Summoners, Y4 did match with his teleport. So that's a small breath of relief from LNG.
See already starting to put pressure in this lane. This Mole on this Zoe. So it's going to be now hit the new ban on top of V5, something they have to get rid of, otherwise V5 actually have a chance.
Add it to the pool. Aurelia, Yasuo, take down the Zoe as well.
Yeah, it opens up every other lane. That's kind of what they're doing right now, as SofM did not start his blue buff as of yet. So you can see both junglers towards this bot side. Ben4 is here as well.
Maestro presenting himself as a really juicy target at this point. And taking a look at the trinkets, you can see that Max still holding on, doesn't have the scanner just yet. So LNG actually in a fairly decent position in terms of the lane. It's going to be very hard for the Xin Zhao to gank them.
Ben4 does have his flashback, has got his Warrior Enchantment, as well as his Red Smite. So most likely going to be looking for something, as we see actually a sneaky little 20 CS lead built up there for Flandre up on that top side, despite being in a ranged matchup.
Yeah, you have to say that this is V5 sticking true to the LPL traditions. Leave your top laner alone and just rain down pain and fury onto the bot side. But wait a minute.
Here we go. Plex was hit by the Paddle Star. We did see the ultimate used, as well as the Light Binding. So much damage, not able to catch him out, but Plex needs to be very careful, needs a path away.
Mole is on the hunt.
Yeah, on the hunt. Not able to find him, and that's going to be Plex backing away. Didn't have to burn his flash, only had to burn his cleanse.
Still, that's a big victory for V5. They're just looking to open up that bot lane to Ben4's control. And now he's going to have the full support of his mid laner roaming in on this blue buff.
Blue buff was taken there by SofM. As he sees with his trinket that the Gromp is being taken.
Oh, the sneaky drunkard. He could still find a potential burst kill here. Ben4's going to take the safe route.
I was going to say, I think they spotted out Mole on that pink ward, and they said, you know what, we probably shouldn't go for an extended fight here. Give up the camp. No real thing lost, and they are almost certainly going to feel... Oh, he jumps in! There is a flash available for Plex. He's going to have to use it. Whew. And use the ultimate as well. Over aggression there. So here comes Flandre. They're trying to find something. They have got the explosive cast. It's going to whiff. They get the body slam in. They're going to try to find Mole, who flashes away. Flandre, though, is in a lot of trouble. They trade out the Zoe, who didn't realistically need to go in for that at all, for the top lane of LNG.
Yeah, really didn't need to do that. And every moment that LNG just loses pressure over the mid lane and the jungle, it's going to allow V5 to continue to just snowball this bottom side. So trading 1-for-1, not ideal for V5, but doesn't really hinder their game plan.
They got a couple of plates up on that top side, though, so well, a couple of plate damage, not plates taken out just yet. Able to even up the CS for Windy as well. No TP available for the Aatrox to come back into lane, and we can see here, Plex just over-aggressive.
Yeah, even going in when the heal was on Mole as well, Mole was able to shield out so much damage. I'm not even sure he would have lost that 1v1. But SofM, of course, was coming in, both sides coming in with the roam. And this was just so close from SofM. Great dodge back onto Mole. However, he does return the favor, trying to pick up the kill.
Did not need to do that. Unfortunately, they do trade 1-for-1, but with the pressure now in their favor of V5, they pick themselves up a Rift Herald, and it looks like they're going to try and push it up straight away into that top side.
You know why you do that? When you don't die in game 1, it doesn't affect your KDA.
I'm pretty sure he did die in game 1.
No, he didn't die in game 1.
Didn't die at all?
Didn't die, well,
God damn. That's true. You get one free death. It still doesn't affect your KDA. So you see the Dragon going to be up in about 20 seconds. They're going to have a bit of priority for the side of LNG. TP was used, though, by Windy, so TP advantage for Flandre. We're going to see the bot lane pushed in again and again. That turret almost down to nothing. One plate left on top of it. We see SofM take a chunk from the Paddle Star. And this could be a bit of a fight coming in here. Plex has no flash. Plex trying to just jump in with a fight. Jumps out straight away. Gotta feel like Mole did not take the best of trades there as Ben4 gonna get tongue lashed. And they're jostling for position right now for both sides. Neither wants to give up this Infernal.
The second Infernal, extremely important, but up in the top side, you do see LNG coming in with the teleport advantage.
I like this from the side of V5. They're popping down the Rift Herald saying you can only choose one. It's Dragon or the mid lane turret. You gotta choose between whichever one you want to go for. They're gonna land the Trouble Bowl, which is gonna force the body slam out away from the Dragon pit. Dragon has been started. You can see LNG, they do not want to lose this, but there's an IE on this Caitlyn. You got to be so careful of those crits. As they jump in, Asura is there. Flandre has typed in as well, but it's going to be secured by V5. Now what is the exit strategy? Flandre's position is going to be very, very key to try and keep this fight going alive. Windy gets caught out. Great ultimate there from Ben Fortis to keep his team alive. He's going to sacrifice himself just to make sure everyone else gets out, and they end up trading the Dragon for 1 kill.
Jungler for Infernal, that is a win in my book for V5. Very strong play there, and the disengage was on point. Sleepy Trouble onto Flandre, knock back onto 3 people. They're even able to get back and defend their own mid lane tower. So a great play, great disengage from V5.
Yeah, only trading the 1 jungler for the Infernal Drake, equaling that up there for V5, and we're going to see how this fight went down.
Now, it was really close. Asura actually had almost another steal here. SofM trying to knock them in a good position, but look at this disengage. They hit the Sleepy Trouble on Flandre. He's forced back, and then Ben4 gets a triple knock-up. He holds up the ramp. He knows he's a dead man, but he makes sure that his team is alive with great HPs to defend the mid lane tower.
Game's fairly even at this stage. 3 kills to 3, 1 Infernal Drake each. No towers yet to go down. It's just kind of small CS leads, pretty much identical to each other for Aatrox over Karma and then Caitlyn over the Ezreal. So we wait to see now exactly. Ben4 is here, has got flash available. Cleanse used there by Maestro. That's a summoner burn straight away.
V5 are tired of playing in this bot lane. They're going to hard force this, even having Mole here, but he's spotted instantly.
Yep, going to be spotted by almost every single ward that's littered around this jungle, but that's going to be enough pressure for the side of V5 to crack open this bot lane.
And look at the top lane. They're trying to get Flandre ahead at this point.
And we're going to see Windy in a lot of trouble, has nowhere to go, and they're going to try and gift this one over to Flandre. Will take a little longer than they expected, but they will get it. However, it is a tower for a kill, and V5 still pushing.
I love how Windy used his perfect timing and just instantly sold it after it was broke. Actually bought it back. Oh, okay.
Maybe he was just checking.
Yeah.
Just checking. It's actually an Iceborne Gauntlet karma this particular game. So we see Plex taking a hit. Ben4 now finds himself here. They're going to commit everything to it. The flash in, the light. Not going to hit. Neither is the Paddle Star, but that's going to be Plex taken out of this lane. Good transition here from V5. They can start to pressure down this mid lane turret.
Life of a mid laner in the LPL. Everyone's after you. And
we're going to see fantastic explosive cast sets up Ben4 on a plate. Great move there by SofM.
And we were thinking, how are they going to defend without their mid laner? SofM comes up with the perfect answer.
Still got to be careful, though. This siege from the side of V5 is very, very strong. You got the Caitlyn for the range, you got the poke with the Karma, and the Lux and the Zoe. But fantastic move there from SofM, able to set up his top laner for another kill.
That move pretty much saved them their mid lane tower, or else it was just going down. It was a 4v3 defend there. Very difficult to actually accomplish. Let's watch SofM again as he calculates the angle, lands 4 people in that, and almost would have gotten Mole if Mole did not use his proto belt there.
That he picked up. So RNGesus is with Mole in this particular game as he was able to use the proto belt to get out, but LNG not out of it just yet. Small little gold lead in favor of V5, but nothing to be writing home about as of this moment in time. Looks like mid lane's going to be the priority, as we can see down the bottom left of your map. They're going to jump straight in onto Windy. Windy, though, may be able to take this trade or not. Ooh, that shield was incredibly clutch. Oh, not enough from the True Shot Barrage. And LNG, they're finding advantages. They're finding their footing. They might not be out of this series just yet.
Really good step around, and this is the LNG that we wanted to see. Good collapse potential, great engages coming from SofM. A lot stronger on this Gragas pick. I've been enjoying this one.
Yeah, has got the explosive cast and a lot of damage as well. So he just tries to keep this one going as we see the paddle stars and the trouble bubbles, or the bubble troubles.
That's a trouble bubble.
Is it a trouble bubble or a trouble bubble? Bubble troubles.
It's pretty sure it's a trouble bubble.
So we see now what they want to go for here. Plex forced to stop his back because he was not sure if he was on a ward or not. So the vision was cleared now into the mid lane, and V5, they've got them sight set on this mid lane turret. They've done enough poking and prodding. They want to just take it right now, and they should be able to secure it, no questions asked.
And LNG seems to be just offering up a trade for their bot side at this point, but the bot side's very, very healthy. So just a bit of extra farm. He is on a 30 CS lead,
Windy.
and maybe they'll catch him again.
Windy needs to be so careful. There it is. Knockback going to come in as well. You can imagine. Flandre picks up that one there. 3-1 and 2 on this Aatrox, and that's going to be a free Ocean Drake. Windy just got greedy.
Yeah, walking through there, even though he dropped the ward, LNG read that play. That was so smart for them. Hiding on both sides where the ward didn't have vision, and then SofM coming over the wall. A cheeky little play. I love that.
Very, very cheeky. We can see the armor stacking now for Windy as he's got his Zhonyas on top of that Iceborne Gauntlet. He's in pure kite mode. He's going to basically be the setter-upper for the likes of Mole and Y4. So we see Ben4 trying to defend this bot lane turret. Should be able to do so relatively successfully as the TP does come in here from Windy.
Yeah, but LNG still should have pressure here. Oh, World Ender instantly plopped. SofM has flash and his ult.
Yeah, Windy has no flash. Windy has no help bar. Windy will go into stasis, but Windy will die anyway.
And I think LNG has cracked the V5 code. If nothing else succeeds, at least beat up on Windy. This has been the go-to answer against V5 and a huge reason that they haven't been so successful with their scrappy early games.
They crack open bot lane all the way to the inhibitor turret. They did lose topside tier 1. No one yet to challenge Y4. He's just going to back away, realizing that there's some people missing on the map, probably coming towards his location. Looks like the Colonel's feeling LNG right now. It's a very, very close game. They've got themselves a small gold lead, but definitely nothing huge.
Yeah, but for this time, I think LNG have a much better, like compared to game one, much better chance in the game. I feel like this Caitlyn Lux didn't really get going as far as we've seen. Now, the Caitlyn Lux still has a bit of a power trough coming into the midpoints of the game if you don't see these kills. Like, the reason FPX is so successful on it is that they almost always find kills in that lane. Didn't happen this time, and LNG have a good opening.
Yeah, we're going to see the actual flash of Mole used. As we see now, 2 items picked up from most of the side of V5 as well as the side of LNG. Actually, IE Rush there from Plex did not go for that Blade of the Ruin King build, going for pure hyper carry into this late game. Will it come back to bite him or not? We'll have to wait and see.
A bit of an interesting build path here, but he didn't take much damage during the laning phase either. So, you know, I think this build is going to offer him a lot more DPS. Just comes his 3rd item.
No real sustain as of yet. Ben4 going to jump over the wall, try and catch out SofM, who has popped the Predator. Plex hiding in the back line.
So dangerous for V5.
V5 need to be very, very careful. Have not got complete vision, but then again, neither do LNG. Aatrox pushing in this bot side, going to be sending the Karma to deal with him. Windy.
Not sure about sending the Karma necessarily.
Has got plenty of armor, so shouldn't die, at least. Definitely lacking in the terms of dealing with LNG right now. Flandre is very, very strong on the Aatrox.
Yeah, and we can see the items already. The Death Stance is going to keep him alive so long in these skirmishes. V5, with their current composition, they don't really have that much burst damage to get over the Aatrox. If the Aatrox is caught before he can start getting his abilities down and getting that massive healing, then maybe they can burst him down. But if Aatrox Flandre comes from a flank and finds anyone to just lifesteal on, he's going to stay alive so long in these team fights.
You can see both teams posturing over this Baron pit, want to try and get something. The advantage would definitely be in favor of V5 close. As they have got the mid lane turret already taken down. They can use their own mid lane turret to try and maintain position over this Dragon pit, or Baron pit, excuse me. Next Dragon, speaking of, is going to be an Infernal, and you feel like NNG, with the priority they have in this bot side, will be able to kind of go for that whenever they please, but there's now no vision available for the side of V5. It's been wrestled back away from them, and LNG are looking to try and just make sure they can get as much information away from the side of V5.
Very proactive teleport coming from Asura, just making sure that he can keep this lane pushed in. And LNG are playing an interesting position on the map. They're saying V5, if you ever transition bottom side. Oh, that was almost a kill. Still
almost. Might be. Windy just back away. That is an AP Ezreal for the most part, as he has got the Luden's Echo, so the ultimate will be doing a hell of a lot of damage.
I really enjoyed how LNG played that one now. They were holding onto the top side, saying V5, if you ever transition and try to even get vision around the Infernal Drake, we will just straight rush a Baron. We do have that power in us, and if you don't go there, we're just going to poke you out. So win-win, good steps by LNG. They actually still control full vision on the Baron pit with that.
They get themselves their 2nd Infernal of the game, so they're at a net advantage. Next Drake going to be an Ocean. As V5 just try and establish some kind of vision control right on top of the ward, Ben4 will recall. And Flandre back towards this bot side, and uh-oh, Mole needs to be so careful. Has got the heal, but here comes SofM with the Predator. 2 for 1, trying to come in on top of this. He's trying to dance around, trying to go left, right, and center. Will not be able to stay alive, and Flandre goes down. That's a straight-up pick in favor of LNG.
And there might be more coming.
Oh, no. Oh, a little too early. Asura not able to time that one.
Yeah, it's 2.5 seconds for the stasis, I believe. So if you don't get that exactly right, I was almost a kill into Baron. V5 get out with the skin of their teeth.
But Flandre will open up the bot lane now. They're going to get an inhibitor turret off of this. As you can see, it goes down. And now V5, they've got to make a decision. They've got to decide. Y4 should be able to stay alive. As I say that though, flash burn by Max. The rest of the side of LNG are trying to force this engage, trying to see if they can do it, but maybe Flandre went a little bit too far, went a little too close to the sun. He will go down eventually, as that turret shot was chasing him into the belly of the catfish.
Yeah, Challenging Smite doing a good job there, and that does stop LNG's push for now. That was very close to becoming a Baron. Good flashes expended by V5 to keep their members alive. And finally, we're seeing the LNG game plan. We're finally seeing it. After so many weeks, we finally see a good split push coming in from Flandre, where he does have the lead, and LNG clawing themselves back into a game the old Snake style. Now, this is a desperation move from V5.
They gotta go for it.
Completely spotted.
Yeah, they gotta go for it. They do not have the scaling as such. SofM is here, has flash, has might available as well. Baron down to about 7,000 HP as they just jump it straight in. But it's gonna be Tahm Kench going into stasis as Azura is forced to flash away. They also wanted to fight.
Resets are coming.
Resets are coming. There's Tristana jumping in, does get caught out, has to burn a cleanse of her own. A lot of summoners burn, but in the end, it is the jungler of V5 that goes down, and you gotta feel like LNG can go for this.
LNG do have the Ocean Drake, do have the red buffs there. They're going to stay healthy. They're cleaning up the waves for now. But they're actually not going to hard force this. They're playing relatively safe.
Don't want to commit to something. Want to get the lanes back in order, get that mid lane, take up as much income, I should say, as possible away from V5 from those jungle camps. You can see exactly how they go for this.
Yeah, so Desperation Baron from V5, a lot of extra poke damage incoming, gets 4 people with the True Shot Barrage, and a great save here. Plus the perfect timing as well from Maestro. Just keeps Asura alive for so long, and then you can see the burst damage going on over the entire team. That is an 80 ratio there onto the E coming in from Tristana. Really does hurt.
It was unfortunate as well for Mole. You could see right between the posts, his paddle star that could have done a lot of damage to the front line of LNG just went right by everybody, didn't hit a single soul. So we see maybe another engage coming in. There's the Predator, has been popped by SofM. Will have an opportunity to try and push in further and maybe take something else out. Lanes in favor of LNG, and here they go. They're going to force the flash immediately from Mole. That's his own one. Ben 4 is in a lot of trouble as the Infernal Chains do not land. He is forced to use his ultimate as well. LNG on full attack. V5 forced to retreat, and that could be Baron.
This should finally be the start of it. Last play, I felt like they could actually just straight go for Baron. There was already minions in the bottom inhibitor that V5 had to deal with. They're still playing it so incredibly safe. Even knowing that the jungler in Ben 4 had to go back in base, they're still not willing to start. They're actually going to try and go for the catch with SofM.
SofM sitting in that pixel brush. They're just trying to slowly do this, but the bluff has been kind of called right now for the side of V5. LNG need to be careful. Azura's now taking chunks out of his health bar, and that's a priority now for V5.
A sustained red buff in Ocean for Asura. He's going to be back in action shortly after, but they do lose positioning around the Baron pit. This is V5's chance to clear that side out.
And looking for it. They know they're not on the Baron, as there is still vision available for LNG. They have not cleaned that out on the side of V5, but a 4-man, or 3-man, I should say, True Shot Barrage. And now LNG looking to poister around this Baron pit. And Asura, he can't take more of those, unfortunately. He is taking so much damage. But like you said, the Ocean Drake, the red buff, and also the Vamp Scepter in his inventory should be able to keep him healthy.
LNG are now playing on the critical point. Everything is burning up in flames for V5. They finally find the engage.
SofM says he has done perfect flash body slam into the explosive barrel, and that's going to be Ocean Drake as the prize. Windy has not been having a good game this game.
0-4-0 already, and that was a bit too easy for SofM. I thought that was a clear giveaway from V5. It was a 2-man defense in their mid lane tower. Nothing really to fight over, so I have to give the small mistake points to Windy. Definitely could have backed out there, but still a great find on SofM.
We can see exactly how it goes in. Just sees an opportunity. Windy just not respecting it. Takes one step forward. Perfect.
Ooh. Yeah, that was a full 5-man. Only 3 people coming in from V5. They had to back away, had to give that one up. Just a step too close.
We'll see exactly what LNG can turn that into. More gold to get themselves about a 6,500 gold lead. V5 have finally got their Caitlyn online. 3 crit items and a last whisper as well to boot. Nice cheeky attempt at a steal there, and the red buff now going to go safely over to the side of Y4. And it's all about picks right now for the side of V5. They need to try and catch somebody out, similar to how SofM caught out Windy.
Mole has to be the hero, the playmaker for V5 once again. He's been the main one going in and calling out these LNG bluffs. He found Asura in the last one. Can he do so again is the big question. Asura is now taking a much more, I would say a much safer path this time.
Yeah, you can see just slightly to the left, slightly to the right. V5 searching, fishing for anything they can get. They have got bot lane pushing in their favor, so that will push out eventually, but top lane in favor of LNG. LNG still feel like they have the advantage in this particular fight, as they know that Zoe isn't here. Max now taking a huge chunk of damage. He may be forced to flash away as Flandre has got the flank. He does catch out Windy with the Infernal Chains. Forced to back away though because the tether was going on. They're going to jump straight onto Flandre. He's forced to flash. He will get bursted down. And that's Mole picking up the first kill of this fight. 4v5 now in favor of V5 as they look to try and continue this advantage.
Maestro might be caught out here. He's just waiting for the second E.
Oh! SofM comes out huge, but it doesn't matter because they do catch out the Tahm Kench on the back of it. It's a 3v4. SofM keeping LNG alive in this.
Ooh, that was such a close one. I thought V5 had that one for sure, but SofM, even without the flash, able to find Y4. I want to see how Y4 was caught out. I was looking at the bottom side of the map, thinking the support was going to go down.
Max needs to be so careful. There is a Predator available.
Respect the drunk man. Don't go that close.
We all got to respect a drunk man who throws his weight around. Let's see how that flight starts. Flandre almost gets the perfect flank.
Yeah, this is very close. We does have the Youmuu's Ghostblade for this one, but it was really well warded out from V5. They do have early warning. They find the kill, and this flash from Maestro almost looked like a disaster. It's like, the second too late. But the top side of the map, oh no, Y4 flashes in for the fight. Oh, that was just overeager, man. You just take the kill.
We gotta go back to live as the Baron has been started. I think it's gonna be V5 far too little, far too late. They're trying to steal it. Almost getting it. Max trying to put on his best Asura impression of stealing objectives, but overall ends up being the Baron now going over to LNG. They'll reset, and they're gonna look for inhibitors.
Yeah, and that pretty much means with the Baron buff, the only one able to wave clear will be Y4. So we've seen how teams played this. You shove in one lane against the Caitlyn, let her set up all her traps, and then you just set up shop in another lane. It's exactly what we've seen for a lot of these scenarios. So full control in LNG right now, shifting down from the mid lane, and I do expect them to then just go for the bot side.
A lot of wave clear, though, on the side of V5. You finally got your Caitlyn online. We talked about it. She's now got herself a stopwatch. As I say, Flandre forced to use his, so that's going to be down. Trying to find that flank, doesn't actually get it. And now Ben 4 in a little bit of trouble. He needs to be very, very careful. Flandre still very much there. They all just back away. They're just trying to keep pushing these lanes. They can get all 3 lanes synced up. They'll be in a very, very good spot.
Now, Y4 has to be the main target right here. He is the majority of the team's damage, and without a flash, probably easy pickings for SofM, who still has his.
SofM just gets him back up after he did pick up Windy in that mid lane. You can see the trap line set up here for Y4. As the rest of his team just try and pick off these minions in the bot side. Minion wave in mid now crashing in. They're going to try and get Y4 to just try and clear these ones out. They're not quite getting the waves to sync up perfectly, unfortunately, for the side of LNG, which means they're not able to successfully pressure all 3 of these lanes.
Yeah, this is opening themselves up to a possible catch onto Plex, so SofM is called down. Ooh, that was a bit dangerous for the Gragas, but it does get out with just 1 E.
And you can see now they're going to try and go for this inhibitor in the bot side. It's been open for a long, long time. Should be able to pick it up. It's the rest of the team now trying to collapse on top of these mid and top inhibitor turrets. A lot of damage going on to both respectively, but yet to be taken down.
Windy is completely at this point, so...
That's the trouble ball they needed. They're going to be able to take out Maestro as well as Asura if they're able to get the kill. Not quite. Don't think that's going to be enough to take him down. He has got the Iceborne Gauntlet there. They only lose the 1 inhib on bot side. Plex, though, hovering in this side of the jungle, LNG, they will be able to take out a lot of the resources, but V5, they're holding.
And I wonder how Mole died there. Didn't really see the death on screen, but LNG with that one, they're looking to open up the entire base.
They TP in, they open up that mid lane. They're going to try to get out Windy, who's forced to flash away. They now have got full priority within this base of V5. They actually take out all 3 inhibitor turrets, all 3 inhibitors soon to follow. You feel they can maybe lose 1 or 2 people, but Asura is going to be the guy they have to keep safe.
Good dodges on those skill shots, is able to force them away from the base. Seems like this one will be defended so far, but we do need a couple of replays here. Mole with a great find onto Asura, forcing Maestro to use everything, but then does die and fall down himself. So opening up double inhibitors. Watch that again.
How did Mole die?
Yeah, it actually wasn't spotted. Oh, so he takes the light binding to the face before going in. Maestro has to sacrifice himself. And where does Flandre actually find Mole? Mole walks too far forward. He goes in.
He just, he goes in a little bit, but then just doesn't respect that SofM and
he's
Flandre.
Still there, SofM.
Yeah.
Waiting on the kill. Has to come back.
That's a Cloud Drake taken there by LNG. Next one's going to be an Elder. 36 minutes into this game. It's going to go long. 9,000 gold lead in favor of LNG, but Y4, they're setting, look at this V5, setting up for a potential Pixel Bush gank.
If I was LNG, I would just go for the sure thing. Set up a full 5-man siege.
Oh, they might not be able to, as SofM has been caught, SofM has been taken down, and Flandre is now going to be the next one as they target him. There's the redemption going in as well. They may be able to just turn this one around, flash for flash. His GA comes out. Azura trying to keep everyone away, but you've got the Xin Zhao ultimate available to you. There's the Tahm Kench, they take out jungler for jungler. It's all on this Ezreal and Tristana to keep this team alive, but super minions are flooding in. They're going to try and go for this. Windy's just trying to jump in, but Plex jumps in anyway. He's got the GA. He will be getting it procced as the TP coming in from Flandre. The karma has gone down. They're going to drown the trouble bubble on top of him, but it could be too little. It could be too late as Azura is just wrecking on top of these teams. They're going to be able to take out, it's a double, it's a triple. It's actually Y4 who's able to pick up the double as well. Doesn't matter. Valiantly defended V5, but LNG have got too many minions. And they're going to be able to end this game and equal up this series.
The Chongqing Minions are going to take it for LNG. What an insane comeback fight. That was all doom and gloom. SofM being caught up on the flank. Flandre going down, and somehow LNG with the 3v5 hold the fort and come back to win it. Wow. That was ballsy from Plex.
A lot of confidence in GAs right there.
Yeah.
You got Flandre. You got, him going in, getting caught, using his GA successfully. You've also got the GA that was on top of Plex. But Azura played amazingly on this Ezreal. Really feel like he definitely kind of, created, a safe space for his bot lane. He did have a rough time, but didn't die, which was the important thing too many times.
He held on to that lane. It fell down, but it really wasn't his fault. And late game was where he came to shine in that last triple kill. Over the wall, dodging 2 skill shots, going into Maestro, popping back out, picking up the triple kill. Really cool stuff from him. And at least we see LNG with signs of life. Red side, counter pick for Plex coming in. Something new, giving him lane priority. And Flandre did a great job to get the side lane split push and drag the game down further.
And we didn't see SofM pressured that much early. He was the one dictating the pace of Event 4. Apart from that very early gank in the mid lane, it was kind of all about LNG. And like you said, great to see signs of life. But that was a little too close.
That was
as much as they had the
close.
Winions, if they get aced there, the map resets, inhibitors respawn.
For me, the problem was that play was very unnecessary.
Yeah.
I feel like when you have 2 inhibitors open and Baron up in 1 minute, you just take the top lane inhibitor.
Yeah.
There's actually nothing that could be done there to prevent it. But, SofM going for the too smart for your own good play where he tries to flank someone, gets caught on a pink ward and just dies. It's like,
yep.
So,
but LNG not out yet. Still can win this series. Still can knock out Victory 5 and LGD out of playoff contention. But how confident are we that they can do that?
So I think it does come down to side selection a lot of times, and V5 this time, they're going to, actually game 1 was LNG for the side selection, so LNG game 3 back again. If they can repeat this draft where they have Plex on something that at least has lane priority, doesn't get shoved in that much, I think they have a decent shot against this. However, it also will come down to Aatrox being banned again. It was banned in game 1, they let it open in game 2, paid the price for it. So if they're going to continue this performance, something new is going to have to come out from Flandre, and I expect the rest to be more or less the same.
We'll have to wait and see. And for Victory 5, it wasn't all doom and gloom. Definitely looked like they should have lost that game a little earlier, but they got the items there. It just kind of, it never came together. When they were winning one, they were losing another, and it was kind of all a little bit mishmash for them to really capitalize on any kind of huge mistakes. Yeah,
the main thing here is that when you give Flandre a champion that can hard carry, that can stay in lane almost indefinitely, then he just does magical things with it. He's able to split push so much. He found great flanks around most of the time. So I think V5 is going to be much more attentive to make sure that these strong champions like the Aatrox doesn't get into Flandre's hand. They've been banning the Akali the entire series. And just a couple better plays in the mid-game team fight where I felt LNG was still very shaky and V5 still have a great chance.
We'll have to wait and see. We are going to go to a quick break, but when we return, we will have game 3 of... I've completely forgotten the team's names. Oh my god, Victory 5
LNG.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was like, I just blanked and I was like, completely forgot the games. We will see you guys very, very soon.
Hello everyone, this is Niberia here with another episode of LPL Insight. In the game between FPX and Vici Gaming, FPX's jungler Tien predicted all of the opponent's moves and secured the win for his team. Let's take a look at his site. At a minute 50 into the game, Vici's jungler Ix initiates a gank towards the bottom lane, forcing Tahm's flash. From this gank, Tien knows exactly what's going to happen. He stops farming and recalls immediately, even though there are still 3 camps on his blue side. After the recall, Tien rushes straight towards bot lane while keeping an eye on the minimap. When he sees Taliyah vanish into the shadow, everything is in his control. He sends out a ping to remind his teammates of what's happening and plans his next move. Just a few moments later, Taliyah and Zhao show up in the bottom lane, but don't catch FPX by surprise. He dashes into the battlefield with a teleport from Nautilus, using Unburrow to knock up both Taliyah and Zhao, and picking up the kill. Vici starts to pull out, but it's too late. Tien gets another 2-man knockup with his Flash Unburrow combo and secures himself another kill. He hunts down Caitlyn while carefully avoiding the trap and finishes the fight with a triple. With a perfect prediction and teamfight execution, Tien turns Vici's gank attempt into a huge advantage for his own team. However, Vici doesn't give up their bot lane plans. When the game reaches 9 minutes and 15 seconds, Taliyah and Zhao attempt the gank once again. Varus is melted, and Nautilus tries to get something back, but Tahm is cut down by Caitlyn's Peacemaker. In this 4 versus 2 situation, Tien and Doinby have to fall back to the turret, and it seems like there's no hope. But then a hero's entrance comes from above. Tien hits the Zhao with a beautifully timed Prey Seeker, letting him cast Void Rush for the kill. He's then rooted by Lux, and Caitlyn flashes in, trying to capitalize with a Root Trap combo. In the face of imminent danger, Tien keeps calm and makes his play. He flashes over the wall before the trap arms and takes down Lux, scanning with his red trinket to keep himself away from vision. Then he pulls out safely under the protection of his teammates, making this battle a 2-for-2 trade. In the final fight of the game, Tien is here to stall out, goes for a solo kill on the Taliyah, and even more impressively, he finds it with a Void Rush and an auto to finish it off. But now it's just him and Crisp alone versus 4. But here comes Gimgoon to save the day. Tien needs to get another kill here, gets the knockup, finds the kill, and Gimgoon finds the triple kill of his own, knocking down the Nexus of Vici Gaming. Tien's perfect prediction and amazing outplays help his teammates to survive from the early gank and finally lead them to win. That's all for today's LPL Insight. See you next time.